Okay. Give it a second to load. Wow. Just looking at some of the news. Wow, that motorcycle chase went a long time. Good gracious. Um, so there was a standoff in Ellis County, Kansas. I don't know when it ended. I know it went over 2 hours. Suspect is a trespasser armed with a high-powered rifle. Known mental issues. So he's known to have mental issues. Uh, suspect captured. Okay, so they got him. All right. That was whoops. Working barn fire in Pennsylvania. Lightning strike caused the fire. House fire. Motorcycle chase. It started at 1:29 a.m. and went. This was in New York. It went 2:09. It was still going. 2:12. It was still going. 2:14. It was still going. Oh, he crashed. At 2:14, he crashed. Well, I hope he was okay. Um, then there was a multi-vehicle accident, probably fatal. A car ran into the back of a semi, and the car was doing 90 miles an hour, and he slammed into the back of a semi. And cars engulfed in fire. So prayers for that family. We had so many fatal accidents here last week. It was crazy. I mean, there's a lot of traffic around here, but um, it was crazy the amount of fatalities in car accidents. One car accident was 4 people killed. They hit a tree by the airport. And then another accident, 2 people died instantly. And that was at a road where the speed limit coming one way is only 30 miles an hour. The speed limit going the other way is 45, and they crashed at the intersection. Um, anyway, it was really bad here last week for pedestrians getting hit by cars, bicycles getting hit by cars, motorcycles, SUVs, everything. I don't know what was going on. I've just never seen so many in one week. But okay, let's look at the space weather. So now they've extended it. It's going to the G2, the G1's going to be 2 days, and then the G2, or G2 and back to a G1, forgive me. So tomorrow's the G2, today was a G1, tomorrow's a G2, and then Saturday's another G1. And then we'll have to wait for them to update again before we find out what's going to happen after that. But remember when we were looking at this the other day, and I said if we get in that red, it's going to be issues. And that is crazy. That's almost nothing. That's for the satellites. They're all not good. Whoops, come back here. Not good for the satellite environment at all. And look how low this dropped. So anyway, back to this. So we do get in the red and see how they got the Earth peaked up now, which we knew that was going to happen. We got quite a few days of it peaked up, but see this red? At least it's not as dense, deep red as it was before, but yeah, we're going in the red. So our magnetic shield is going to have trouble fighting that. Alright, let me look at density. And there's our density. And plasma density. And then the earthquakes today, good gracious. They were all over the place. Even remember the other day I said China's about the only place that ain't been getting hit? Well, China got hit today with a, I forgot what it was, a 4 point something. And Turkey got hit, you know, which is in the Bible. Turkey had a 4.3. Solomon Island, they always have them. India, they always have them. Central Pacific Rise was a 4.9. 4.8 in China. And then the one in the red, 6.1 in Argentina. Let's see if that has tsunami. Nope. No tsunami warning. And New Zealand had one today. Spain had one. Oh, they're really covering them, covering the map. Let's see if they had, no tsunami warning. 5.7 in Turkey. Another 4.8 in Japan. Pakistan had a 4.7. Puerto Rico had two. Oh, they had a 4.2 and two 3.0s. Japan had a 4.8. So they had a couple today. And Russia had a 4.6. Alright. That's 6.1 in Argentina. But, I mean, these are on the fault lines. The ones not on the fault lines is the ones that are more concerning to me, like that one in Spain. And this one in Turkey. And this one's sitting over here in Canada, 4.2. Spencer of the North. and Patrick. Oh my gosh, there's so many people I haven't seen forever, but I can't do those late nights. My schedule is not nothing consistent right now, but 5 o'clock comes early, so I can't stay up till 4 or 5. Anyway, some things will be different here soon. Because I can't get rides from this location. Some people are scared to come through this neighborhood, I think. They don't even want to drive through here to pick me up. But it's so, nobody likes the traffic coming this way and 21 red lights. And because, the red lights add another 28, 30 minutes to the ride. So the Aurora Borealis should be pretty for someone. I'll let it load. Oh man, I forgot I wasn't sharing the screen. Shame on me. Y'all forgive me. Duh. I did all that and wasn't sharing the screen. Okay, so here's the earthquake screen. Instead, that one's not on a fault line in Spain. That one in Turkey's not on a fault line. This one in Canada is not on a fault line. This one's not on a fault line in Russia. That's deep in Russia, too. This one's not on a fault line. That's in China. That one's close, but it's not. Okay. And so this is what I was talking about. Sorry, wrong one. Try this again. Oh, that still ain't loaded. Alright. So see, we're in the red. The earth is in the red. Remember when it was around here and I said it's going to be trouble. You see how it peaks up here. It lasts for days too. It peaks the 27th, 28th, 29th. And it starts to drop. So we're going to have probably a couple more days of G1. Maybe or just below it on the 29th, 30th. And see, we have G1 for today, G2 for tomorrow, which is going to be rough, and G1 for Saturday. That's as far as their predictions go. Then they'll update it again. This is real strange right here. Look how low these are. And we get the big boost. Oh, I think they're going to end up extending the G1 to the 29th. What was that, the 28th? G2 on the 27th. Yeah, 28th. That'll probably be extended to the 29th will be a G1. I think it's going to go longer than it's showing us. And look, no severe warnings. Isn't that amazing? Kind of strange. None. Well, it's a good thing. We're not complaining. We're happy there's none. So yeah, Miss Glenn and Patrick and Bruce and Casey and John and Raven. Lulu stopped in last night. Spencer in the north, Jeff P, Chris, CP, Karen, Suzanne, Dirty, Pickle Rick. He's cool. Y'all should check out his channel too. Pickle Rick 1 and Pickle Rick 2. Some entertaining people up there. And anyway, I'd like us to get back to scripture. I hope Daughter of the Most High is okay, because she was having issues where she was at because of the weather. Oh man, so I stepped on another rusty nail today at that same place. And then I got cut in the arm from a rusty piece of thin metal. But I'm okay. No lockjaw yet. They say it takes 3 days to a week, but I think the Lord's got my back on that. I'll be okay.
I'll be clear 5 and 10:42, 10:63, I think.
Ouch. Whew. Okay, guess we'll check out. Why can't I do? Huh.
X-ray, check shot. 599 X. Bonnie Rosemont, West Virginia, Victor Lima, Bravo, 1918.
Guess I could check my weather app. I just know it was really, really hot out there today. And that sun was burning hot. Oh, this thing's taking forever. I don't really want to see that. Oh, there's some storms. I wonder which way they're moving. They're probably going north. And this is Virginia Beach right here.
Get ready to turn this 11.6 average. Perfect timing as soon as you're right on the plate. Shut that down. Alright.
Okay, we've got rain coming from the west.
Envoy indicating customer service door, no contact on site. Dispatcher 331.
Alright.
10 for 2107.
Let's see what's further down east and south. So when you're driving down here, let me tell you, this thing gets so thin that when you get down here and you got ocean on both sides of you, it gets so thin. I went down here one night to go on the duck years ago so I could see the stars, you know, without light pollution and whatnot. And it just was so thin down in here. It was almost kind of spooky. As you're on a teeny strip of land, literally. And this floods a lot. But it's pretty out there. This is where they lost the pier in Avon. This last hurricane that went through, they lost the pier. This is the part that's spooky when you're driving over here. So, hold on. You made it home all right, huh? Good. The bumper held on. Good. Yeah. I still don't think it's that high, but you know, it might be 5,000 pounds. Yeah, well, yeah, but okay. All right, what are we betting? A Gatorade. All right, all right. Bye. Forgive me, y'all. Okay, so it's beautiful over here, though, and the horses run. The wild horses run. Beautiful. Alright, I don't see any, I don't want to get down to Georgia. We're still in North Carolina right now.
374 routine check. 2111.
Still North Carolina. Myrtle Beach. Now we're in South Carolina.
46 to 287.
Come on, scroll already. Trying to get down to the Florida coast so we can see those storms are out there. Charleston, South Carolina. This is the way we used to. Well, sometimes we go 95 to Georgia. Sometimes most of the time I took 85, which is a little more inland. But 95 is actually a better route, a little less traffic for the most part, and definitely a lot less construction work. 85 always had so much construction work. And really about the same distance. Come on. Take me to Florida. I think we're there. No, I just want to see if any hurricanes are out here anywhere. So let's go future. That's past. There's Jacksonville. Come on. I don't see anything out this way, which is good. Let's go down further, where they usually come in at. Man, this takes forever to do it this way. But I like looking at the coastline anyway. I like to pretend I can travel. Cocoa Beach. Come on.
That's 258X, 13 check. 10-4, party 36 for equal section. 10-4, dispatch 228 Bravo. Get up. 12-14.
Port St. Lucie. Palm Beach. Must be nice. Did I pass Sarasota on this side yet? Clearwater. Yeah, I passed all of that. Boca Raton. Come on, scroll. Man, this thing's annoying.
Dispatch any available unit, radio check.
Miami.
23 Bravo.
Oh, look how pretty it gets right here.
2115.
Gorgeous. Key Largo. I don't see any storms out here. That is a good thing. Maybe I didn't go far enough. There's the islands.
Well, 2 minutes will be calling me shutdown.
Look how beautiful this is. Oh, look at that water. So beautiful. It's crazy looking. I don't see anything out here. That's good. That is good.
2116.
Y'all forgive me, I just love looking at the light blue water.
592 red. 592 red. Yeah, we're running a wide load out St. Bridge Road. The road's going to be shut down for probably about 15 minutes. If you got any emergencies rolling that way, let us know, and we'll be able to get them through.
Wow, I wonder why they're shutting down Sandbridge again. Alright, enough of that. I was just having fun. This thing never did load up. Huh. Oh, there it is. Is it black now? Alright. Let's check on these. Oh, there's a new one. And it is 4.6 for Japan. Nishinomoto. However it's pronounced. It is 43 kilometers deep. 4.6. And that one for the U.S. Alright, let's just look at the U.S. right quick. It's way over here by itself. Nevada 3.6. 3.3. California. These are on fault lines here though. 2.9 in another part of Nevada. Okay. Puerto Rico. All right. Still no severe weather, unless this satellite isn't working, which is a possibility. Oh wow, that thing's not even showing up right. That's weird. Very weird. Alright, so what I really wanted to do was see the news, but anytime I look at maps, I start traveling vicariously through the map. Too close. Oh. Alright, I covered the recall on them. Oh yeah, I did want to read this. So, couple felt so violated after a hacker took over a smart home device and began talking to them. Yeah, I can understand that. That would make me feel a little nervous. But you know, they can do that with your baby monitors, and anything can be hacked. That's why I believe they want driverless semis and driverless buses, and they want to bring them here to this area. We already have enough problems with traffic and wrecks, fatal fatalities. Milwaukee couple warns hackers are outside smart homes. Says their smart home was hacked. Well, they have a smart home. I don't know what that means. Camera began talking to them, and their thermostat reached upwards of 90 degrees. The Westmoreland family installed a Nest camera doorbell and thermostat in their home in 2018. They had no problems until they heard a voice talking through the camera in their kitchen. It's supposed to make us feel safe. I didn't feel safe. Samantha, I guess not. Their place of comfort turned creepy on September 17th. My heart was racing. I felt so violated at that point. Westmoreland returned from work to a blazing hot home. The thermostat had been turned all the way up to 90 degrees. She thought it was a glitch and set it back to room temperature. She did not realize that was only the beginning of a roller coaster. 24 hours. The thermostat continued to go up, and a voice began speaking from camera in the kitchen, and then playing vulgar music. So I unplugged it and turned it facing the ceiling. Westmoreland and her husband changed their passwords, but the problems persisted. Eventually, they contacted their internet carrier and changed their network ID. They believe someone hacked into their Wi-Fi and then their Nest. If someone hacks into your Wi-Fi, they shouldn't be able to have access to those Nest devices without some sort of wall they have to get over. The Westmoreland said they're upset. The $700 system was a gateway into their home. Maybe there's some steps we should take. I think Nest should be tightening security. They wanted to share their story to make others aware that hackers are outsmarting the smart home. It could be, or could be somebody that actually works for Nest. You know, it could be one of their employees that's done lost their mind. We had, when I worked at the bar, we had the man install the security system, our high dollar security system, robbed us, and he hacked the system, so he tried to, and shut it down. He cut all the phone lines. He was out back while I was closing, and he just didn't know that I lived so close. So I actually heard him when he broke in, and I had just got home, and I was fixing my coffee pot, for the next day, just so it'd be ready. Hadn't even got my shoes off yet, and I heard this little thump, and I looked out the window, and I'm watching him break in. So anyway, when they caught him, it was their number one salesman, number one installer for the security company, and he was the one that broke in because he thought he could get away with it because he knew where to pull the camera or pull the tape out. He knew, you know, where the cameras were. He knew the whole routine. So he got prisoners time, needless to say. And since I apprehended him, my bosses ended up getting their $10,000 security system for free because he had just installed it. They hadn't even made a payment on it yet. And so I won't name the security company, but the security company gave them the system for free, right? So the $10,000 was null and void. And then they had lifetime coverage monitoring. And then they also installed security systems at their homes for free and gave them lifetime coverage on that. And, my boss told him, hey, you got to give her something because she's the one that caught the person. So it's really hush money. They don't want their name out there. They don't want the news getting a hold of their top security guy was breaking into the businesses. So that little bit they gave me was kind of a joke. But anyway, it still was better than nothing. I didn't do it for a reward anyway. But anyway, that's that. Hello. It looks like something's missing on the screen. That's weird. Oh, I see why. I see why. So, look to make sure there's nothing new. And Hawaii just had another little one. Lonnie's Estates. Isn't that where the volcano erupted?
Golf, Lima, Oscar, Victor, Alpha, Sierra, Zulu. Go ahead a second. Same last name, first name Tyler, be a white heart, black female, Delaware ID 1798102.
Japan. I covered that one. Huh, amazing. No severe weather. This thing might not be working though. It might be having satellite interference because of the craziness. Hello. Hey, Rule. I haven't heard from you. You're still on the green side? You heard Cali's supposed to get hit with a 6-point plus? Yeah. I'm waiting for Alaska to get hit with a 7.4. But, I'm not hoping for that to happen to anyone, but I have that 7.4 in my head for some reason. But, it's Turkey got hit today. Spain got hit. Russia got hit again. China got hit. Canada got hit with a 4 point something. And poor Puerto Rico, man, they had a 4 point something today too. Still cooking the plot. Boy, let me tell you, it was 100 and something here today. It was hot, and that sun was cooking hot. It was bad today. Well, it was all right. Yeah, I just looked at Florida on the map. Looking at all that pretty water. So I'll be moving here soon, and because I can't get anywhere. I can't get rides anywhere living out here. And it's so I'll be changing jobs. And, well, I still have some part-time stuff at the other place. But how have you been? We're gonna have a G2 tomorrow. G2 solar storm. So it's gonna be worse than today. I don't even know what the temperature's supposed to be here tomorrow. 4600 point. It's still hot here. It's humid out tonight. Oh yeah, let me see what they say. Where's that thing? Oops, I think it's still up here. So when you're in the room, if you ever want to know the weather somewhere, you just type this in, and it'll tell you. Show transform one female that's really seeking to watch me, please. I'm old enough to remember hot summers and real cold winters. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So you can type in weather, exclamation point, weather, look up one word, and then space, and then whatever city and state you want to check weather, and it'll give you the current weather and the humidity. That's funny. They say 75. My phone says it's 83 here right now. Feels like 87. So that's definitely wrong because it's not 75 here yet. It's 83. It's supposed to get down to 69, but I don't know. Alright, let me see what hourly says. Alright, so weather Nightbot isn't so accurate. I guess it comes close. Oh, the humidity's going to go back up at 11. Huh. Let's see what it's going to be like tomorrow. Wow, humidity's going to be 76 at 5 a.m. And it's going to be... Really? Huh. I'll believe it when I see it. It's only going to be 79 tomorrow? With a 60% humidity at 5 p.m.? Yeah, right. Maybe. Good gracious. Humidity be 81 tomorrow night at 9. 83 at 11 p.m. Saturday. Oh man. Okay. Saturday will be a little hotter. Northwest getting. There's no global warming. Northwest is getting 30 inches of snow. Really? Wow. It's not even winter time. It's just the first couple of days of fall. But they've done that before. The Northwest has had early snows compared to the rest of the world. But the question is, are they going to heat up to 90 degrees next week? Yeah, leaves are still green. Yep. Well, we had a lot of brown leaves in June and July, and it wasn't from, like fall time where the, the leaves were burning off the trees. Did he? But I think the UVC radiation is doing its damage. Well, we're gonna have that's Chesapeake. Why don't you show me Virginia Beach? Not like it makes much difference. That Virginia Beach is always a little hotter. Um, yeah, I haven't seen his show in a while. I haven't been able to catch anybody's shows really. My phone, when I'm not here, my phone's kind of funny. It hasn't acted right since it took that bath in the motor oil. No, no, I don't go to Patriot Soapbox. There was one Patriot channel I used to go to, but they were just too busy talking about people. And it was like more like a gossip column. Yeah. Well, when I have some time, I'll check things out. But that's probably not going to be until it gets really cold around here, like December and January and February, when nobody will let us. Well, all my jobs now are kind of seasonal, and then the times are going to run together on some of them, so I won't be able to do them. But I have to make one priority. It's live 24/7. Yeah, I'll have to check them out sometime then. Is it actual news, or is it people just giving their um, there was one that I used to go to, and all they covered was Q. No, I don't have a car yet, and so I haven't been back to my my job that I did have. Well, I'll be working there part time, but I couldn't get the 40 hours a week in there during the summer like I wanted to, because it's $36 a day to get there and come back, and when you make minimum wage, that's more than half your pay. And then um, they're Q people. Well, I don't have an issue with Q people. I just don't want to hear all about Q all day. You know, I don't mind it being summarized, but anyway. So no, my car's still out there. It needs an engine, and here all I've been able to do is work with the person to pick me up every day and bring me back, and that's not as much pay as it's about half of minimum wage, but they give you a ride every day and they feed you breakfast and lunch, and if you work late enough, like we did today, we got dinner. Dinner was delicious. It sure beat canned food and those little dollar frozen microwave things. They find news that's not out in the media. I don't know. There's quite a few channels that I just recently quit going to because well, for several reasons. Some of the Christian channels started focusing so much on hype and claiming breaking news, prophecy alert, and then they're saying, and the main media is not covering this. And I look it up, and I'm like, main media covered it 3 or 4 days ago, actually. Major media, main media, whatever. And they actually covered the stuff they're talking about 3 or 4 days before they got a hold of it. But, why tell people main media is not covering it when they are? Just so you can make them think you're telling them something that they can't get elsewhere or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I can get my news a lot quicker than having to listen to a 2.5 hour show when really you got 10 million commercials in there, and you know, and then other stuff they're selling for other people and whatnot. And I don't know. It just seemed like their focus has come off God. Hell, if I was within 20 miles, I would stop by. No, I'm too old. Trust me. Nobody wants a. I'll be 57 in November. Nobody wants a 57-year-old bartender. Not in this area, anyway. If I was in some country town, sure, I'd be all that in a bag of chips there, but not around here. Way too many young people. There's preachers that have shows where rule. I'm just amazed there's no severe weather anywhere tonight. Oh, not around here. Around here, I mean, it's not. There's a lot of jobs around here. If you ain't young and you ain't getting it, the teeth issue doesn't help either. So, but we'll see how the new job does me. I start that sometime next week. Um, they're great people. They're Christians. Pay is still low, but they're I'll be over there by my niece, and it'll be cool. It'll be only guy named Gary. He's on most weekdays at 11 a.m. Oh, yeah, I haven't been around at 11 a.m. You know, I'd be out there working hard, stepping on rusty nails and getting cut with rusty metal and covered in motor oil from head to toe and rust and dust and dirt. And um, we had to put a Connex trailer. Uh, we had to cut that up and haul that away. And we tried for like 3 hours today trying to get we cut the axle, the back of the truck in half, and it was still too heavy. And we tried everything, and finally the guy had someone. So we went and did some other jobs, and then went back to that one. And the guy had somebody come out there with a crane thing and lift it. And he even said, "Man, that's heavy." We got it all up there. Oh, I really need earbuds. That saw, the chainsaw doesn't have. I'm not chainsaw. The chop saw doesn't have uh, the whatchamacallit gone on it. And you talk about loud. Good gracious, that thing hurts my ears. But I've been saying I was gonna buy some. Put my earbuds in. I'm sorry. See, I'm so slow. You mean so I can? Well, I don't really have a lot of data on my phone to use like that, to be listening to YouTube when I'm at work. I'm not around Wi-Fi. And then there's no way I can have earbuds doing what we're doing. I mean, I usually have my keys hanging on my belt. I can't even do that because they'll get torn up. You know, we're lifting stuff, really, really heavy stuff, and getting in really tight spaces all day, and no, you can't wear jewelry or anything; it get torn up out there. All my clothes are torn. So, not that kind of work where you can wear earbuds. Then you have to be able to hear everything anyway, because it's like really dangerous. We're working so close together, and we're throwing stuff and pushing heavy stuff and getting it over the rail and trying to hope it falls in right. And it's kind of dangerous, so you definitely need to be able to hear the whole time and all of that. Thing about going back into business. Oh, really? What kind of business? Yeah, so I talked to my boss from the sportsplex, and tonight, and he said, "Yeah, I just couldn't come out there and get you. It's just, or take you back. It's just." He's like, "When you're at the other place, you'll be closer." I'm like, "It's still 8.3 miles away." He's like, "Yeah, but it's a much easier ride. It was, more on the way or from where he lives at now, and then kind of more en route to the plex, but it's still 8.3 miles from the plex." But um, he's like, "Well, I know what it is. First of all, this is a dangerous neighborhood. Nobody wants to come out here. And then the traffic is so bad between here and the plex. And there's no way around it. There's no way around the traffic. There's no way around the 21 red lights that you have to stop at and wait. It's just, I said, oh, so now you know how I felt coming, when my car was working, coming to work and getting there and then only working an hour or sometimes 10 minutes. Or I was told, well, if there ain't eight fields being used, I don't care, just close it. I don't care if you've been there 10 minutes, just close it down. And I was like, I can't spend all that time in traffic and all that wear and tear on my car and $10 just in gas to lose money if I go to work for 10 minutes. By the time you take out taxes on 10 minutes pay, because minimum wage is only $7 and some change in Virginia. So, uh, anyway, it was cute. He's like, yeah, that's too much of a. I said, yeah, okay. But I just thought I could get to work. Yeah, I've never quit either, but I'm out there working for $3 an hour right now, sometimes $4 an hour, um, in the heat and heavy, dirty. There ain't nothing easy about what I'm doing right now, but I got to do something. 90% of your best workers had to. Yeah, well, I was talking about that this morning. I made a lot more money 40 years ago than I do now. A lot more. And I mean, I made a lot more a few years ago too, but I made really good money as a bartender. But my customers like me. Because I spoil people and I have like this memory that's amazing. Somebody came in, it had been 20 years since they came in, and when the man walked in, I'm like, I know you. You still drink Budweiser? He's like, yeah. And I said, how's your wife? Because the first time I met him 20 years before, he came in with his wife, and they were getting their house remodeled, or their upstairs remodeled, and the dog didn't like it. The dog didn't like the construction workers, and the kids couldn't sleep because the dog was all upset and blah, 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 and I remembered all of that. And he was like, I can't believe you remember all that. I said, yeah, I remember all that, but I don't remember your name. He started laughing. He said, really? I said, yeah, really. I said, I remember you do stuff with the Boy Scouts, and he was a Boy Scout leader, and and his wife didn't like the color blue. They had did the bathroom upstairs. I remember all those details, but couldn't remember the man's name. But for me, names are harder to remember. I can remember everything else. You paid 186. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Oh man, my muscles are starting to cramp up again. Ouch. Ah, ah. I know we got dehydrated yesterday, real bad. It was just two of us working yesterday, and both of us, our muscles were spasming so bad. And thought they were doing good today. Yeah, in '86, I was making. I was subcontracting as a mason, so I was making a killing. Yeah, I was paying my crew over $100 a day too then. Then one time, yeah, I could do that sometimes. Make 2,400 in a day, depending on what kind of brick job it was. But the one time I had bought this 65 F100. I had a brand new truck, a brand new F150, and I saw this 65 F100 with wagon wheels and 3 on the column for sale sitting in this gas station parking lot. I'm like, I want that truck. So anyway, that truck was so cool because it could break down, and I'd have something in my pocketbook to rig it up, and drive it around till my mechanic could get to it. I miss having a mechanic too. Good gracious, I miss that. Anyway, so it was Friday, and the inside of the bank's already closed, so all I could do is go through the drive-through. And my truck broke down in the drive-through line, and I got 5 big guys in my truck and in the back waiting to get paid, waiting for me to cash this check so I can pay them. And the truck broke down in line, and they got big signs there saying you can't walk up to the drive-through because of insurance. Somebody got hit. A pedestrian got hit standing in line at the drive-through, so they wouldn't let you do that. So I'm like, man, I got to get through this drive-through to cash this check. These guys ain't going to show up for work on Monday. So I went in my pocketbook, and sure enough, I had a bobby pin. The Carter pin had came out the thing like it wouldn't go in gear. And so this whatever the thing's called, the little pin had came out. It's called a Carter pin that goes in the I'm not sure what the thing's called. Anyway, I took the bobby pin out and bent it through there, put the truck in gear, and went on through the drive-through. Rode around like that for 2 months. I like them old trucks. Well, it was 3 in the column. I don't know what you call the thing under the hood, but it was like this little round disc thing that had holes in it, and that's where the Carter pin had broke from. Oh wow, 11,000 a week. Yeah, I didn't make that kind of money. It's called a bell housing. Okay. Now I can sound smarter when I talk about it, since I know the name of it. That's okay. I fixed quite a few things that I didn't even know the names of. The first time I put a pump on a wash machine, because I had this convenience store down Ocean View, and I was opening and closing it. So I would open at 6 a.m. and I would close at midnight. So I usually get out around 1 a.m. And that was 7 days a week until I hired some help. And so I didn't have time to get my wash machine fixed. And so when I hired somebody, I told her before she came in one day to stop at the Sears warehouse and, you know, pick up this part number for me. So she did. And so when I got home that night, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I mean, I turned that wash machine sideways, inside out, upside down. Anyway, so I had to take every piece of it off, and I finally found. I said, all I got to do is find the part that looks like this part, and however I take it off, I put the new one on, like that. And of course, I had to improvise a little bit because it was a generic part, um, a universal part rather. But man, 30 minutes later, I turned that wash machine on and washed clothes. I was so proud of myself. That was the first time I learned I could fix something. I was like, oh, I always thought, women couldn't fix things. That's what I was told growing up. I was like, yay. I like working on things. I like puzzles. That's why I like removing computer viruses and building web pages. And well, I like decorating too, coordinating. So, but yeah, I like working on things. I like the feeling, you know, when you diagnose it properly, because that's the hardest part is diagnosing the issue. If you can diagnose the issue properly, fixing it's usually pretty simple. I mean, as long as you have the right tools. Sometimes, you know, you run into problems because you don't have the tools that you need. But as long as you got the right tools, if you diagnose it right, usually repairing it's pretty simple. Except when it comes to engines on cars and you got to replace the whole thing, that's a whole other story. I don't have a engine lift or whatever you call that thing when they, you know, to pick the engine up out the car, and then you got, it would, I mean, I could do it, but it would take a long time because I'd be having to Google a lot of stuff, you know, to put a new engine in and hook everything up properly, and then I'd have to have all the tools. 1979, you were chief maintenance. Really? Cool. I'll be doing some maintenance work at the new job too, so that'll be cool. I mean, I learn quick, and I have some common sense, so you know, and I'm an analyzer. I analyze everything. You know what got you the job? What was it that got you the job? You fixed a leak in 5 minutes that four people couldn't. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Look, my ex-husband got mad at me once because he was a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and he was an engineer. And him and two other people tried to fix this edger, like the old-fashioned edgers that um anyway, I sat down in the garage and I'm looking at it. He comes out there, he's like, "What are you doing? We couldn't fix it." I said, "Yeah, I know, I'm just gonna look at it, you know. I might get lucky and figure it out." So about 15 minutes later, I'm out there edging the around the driveway, right? "Oh, how did you get it fixed?" I said, "Well, I deduced that the fuel was making it up to the bottom part of the carburetor, whatever that thing, but wasn't making it up to the float, whatever that thing is called in there. And the reason why I wasn't making it up to the float was because the little spring had broke off around. It wrapped around this little needle-looking thing, and it had broke. And the anyway, so boss lady take a shower and water dripping to the ceiling, right? And nobody else could figure that out. Isn't that sad? Sometimes you'd be looking, I'd be like, wow. And I don't want to, but some people, it's like the doctor that I used to be engaged to. Now he was internal medicine, which means he had 12 years of college because he had to take the regular 4 years of college. Then he took 4 years of medical, and then he had to take his specialty since he was a specialty, not just general practitioner. So anyway, one day the lawnmower wouldn't start. And he says, I can't get the lawnmower started. I said, did you check the spark plug? It's not back in 1980 something. He's like, spark plug? A lawnmower has a spark plug? I'm like, yeah. Duh. And for a minute, I was joking him. I was like, duh, how do you not know that with 12 years of college? And, then I apologized. I said, well, all right. I grew up in the street, so, I learned things. And I was an independent woman, so, I learned things. He grew up going to college, so he didn't need to know that lawnmower had a spark plug. In 5 minutes, you went from 800 a month painter to 1,500. Pretty wow, awesome. You see, I like jobs that give you a chance to do stuff to prove yourself. I don't like the jobs that like to hold you back. And you run across that as a woman sometimes. They want to try to hold you back. They don't think you should be doing certain things. you know, like landscaping or operating you know, a lawnmower. And I told Nick, I said, Nick, I operated a lull forklift. You know, big construction forklift, not some little warehouse forklift. You know, and you got to run across all kinds of uneven ground, and then set your stuff up on scaffold, 3, 4 scaffolds high, and not pull the scaffold down when you take the forks out. And I'm like, a lawnmower, really? Whatever. It wasn't him. It just certain people there. I'm like, okay. I said, so y'all don't want me to do any of the easy work. I don't get to sit on the lawnmower and ride around and cut grass. That's all right. Because that's how I look at stuff like that. I consider that easy work compared to, all the stuff I'm doing. I'm like, if I'm working a 14, 16-hour day, yeah, let me ride the lawnmower for a little bit. Let me get a break. Nah, my legs and feet don't get no break. I'm up on them the whole 16 hours. But whatever. I think I'll be able to operate the lawnmower at this place I'll be working at. One of those zero-turn lawnmowers. That'd be sweet. You hit Orlando with a quarter tank of gas and $6 in 1980. Wow. 1980, I was just turned 18 the end of 1980. I was pregnant in 1980. I always wanted to go somewhere else, though, besides Virginia. um, I actually had an opportunity to move to Hawaii because Hawaii didn't have brick mason. They had people that could lay block. But in the 80s, um, they were starting to do a lot of brickwork, but they didn't have people that could lay bricks. They could lay blocks, but they couldn't lay bricks because they didn't have a lot of brick over there, so the people didn't have a lot of practice with it. And so I could have went over there and made buku money. Plus, they paid for your hotel, your meals, per diem. And they fly you over to the other island on Monday morning, and then they fly you back to the big island on Friday evenings after you're done. And it was, oh man, it would have been a beautiful job. And I told my daughter, right, she was like 2.5, 3 years old. And I said, baby girl, I'm going to go to Hawaii for work. So we're going to move to Hawaii, but I need to go over there first and, work for a couple of weeks and earn the money. And then I'll come back and get you because I got to set up daycare and all of that, because I'm not just going to go that far away and around a bunch of strangers with my daughter and haven't been there first and checked it out, and you know what I mean, make sure everything's safe, and you know and she cried. She said, Mommy, don't leave me, don't go there first and come back and get me, take me with you when you go. So I never went. You met your old lady in 78. She's been with me ever since. We have went to, she's followed. Oh, cool. So what 7 states you been in? I've only lived in Virginia, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Um, since I was 3.5. Oh, I did live in Portsmouth for until our mother abandoned us in the bar in Portsmouth. But we came from Lynchburg, Roanoke area of Virginia. That's where I was born, but that didn't last long. I visited Pensacola, Florida for 1 day, Anniston, Mississippi for a week, because my ex-husband had a chemical warfare school down there. And, of course, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, because they're on the way. Um, D.C., I used to hang out every weekend. Well, not every weekend. My 3 days off from the bar, my fiance then lived in D.C. He was a producer. So he used to come down and get me on my days off, and we'd hang out in D.C. That was nice. In New York, I've been in New York several times. And Pennsylvania, of course. Um, Maryland. Baltimore. Oh, that's still Maryland. And then St. Thomas for 3 days. Man, St. Thomas was beautiful. That water is so gorgeous. 14 states. Nice. In the 90s, put her through college. She's a hotshot nurse. Cool. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. If you can do anything. But there's some careers where you don't have to be able to do anything, but there's some careers that basically you can have a job anywhere, like nursing. That was a good move. Um, Electricians can have jobs anywhere. HVAC can have jobs in most states and countries. Um, actually wanted to learn HVAC next, too. I had a 6th grade education, and because I had to drop out to live on my own, because if you didn't have parents signing the papers for school, anyway, no, I didn't want to be caught as a runaway, so I had to quit school, and I got a job at IHOP in Roy Rogers, and anyway, and then Wimpy's and Burger King, and matter of fact, 7 days after my daughter was born, I had gotten my taxi permit from the police. Well, a permit to get on the base to drive the taxi on base from the Norfolk Police Department. And I just realized the other day I was looking at my old taxi, ID to get on base, and I got it December 31st, so New Year's Eve of 1981. My daughter was born Christmas Eve of 1981. So, 7 days after she was born, I was out there working as a cab driver. But anyway, um, yeah, I wanna learn HVAC. But like I said, around here, a lot of people, you know, they want to hire younger people. And then around here, the bad thing is there's so many people getting out of the military at 38 and 39 and 40 years old. And military, uh, ex-military, retired military, former military, they get the job for anybody. Like if you can forget ever getting a post office job around here. It's guaranteed to go to the military. Guaranteed. And a lot of jobs are like that around here. Oh, did you? Yeah. Well, I went from go-go dancing to bricklaying. That's how much I wanted to get out of that. So anyway, I started when I started college at 28 years old with a 6th grade education. I made dean's list. So all those things that people told me when I was young weren't true. You had a 67 Dodge Comet. Oh wow, I remember those cars. RT 440 Super Commando. Wow. My favorite car was my special edition Mustang. I had a 72 special edition Mustang with a 351 Windsor in it. And I want you to know that I wasn't supposed to be able to, but I smoked out every 351 Cleveland there was. And I think it was because I was lighter on takeoff, because my engine was lighter. It had the horsepower, though. Not to say that I used to drag race or anything, but, Yeah, 71 or 302 Boss, nice. I had a 302 in, which car was it in? I had a 302. I'm trying to remember which vehicle it was in. I wish I could get me one of those Chargers now. That definitely ain't gonna happen. But anyway, I'm gonna need a camper, RV, or something to live in. a 66 and 69 70 Chevelle SS 396. Oh, wow, nice. Every time I see old cars or old trucks, I take pictures of them and send them to my daughter. She loves old cars. My grandson's starting to like them too. Oh my gosh, I took a picture of this beautiful Model T Ford. Oh my goodness, the restoration on that car. And I didn't even like the color. I would not have liked that color on anything. But the way they did it on that car, it was beautiful. It was like a tan with a light brown trim. And it even went over the like suitcase thing on the back of it. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I think I got pictures of it somewhere. It was gorgeous. Oh, really? They pay $11 an hour? But what's the cost of living? See, that's what's so stupid here. You know, minimum wage is 7. By the time you take out taxes, once you don't have any dependents, you don't have any exemptions, you're making like $5 an hour or less. But the cost of living here is ridiculous. There is nothing here cheap. Your last hot rod was a 78 Monte Carlo with a 400 small block. Yeah, that thing would go, wouldn't it? So my favorite car was my 72 Special Edition Mustang. That was my first car I bought. As soon as I was legally old enough to buy one at 18, that was my first car. And um, my favorite truck was my 65 F100. And then my next favorite car was my Camaro with T-tops. Man, me and my daughter, she was little, 3 years old, 4 years old, and I'd go ride out. We take the tops off and lay the seats back in the car and just look at the stars. Oh, I can live without thrills. The thing is, crime. 500, really? There ain't nothing here for 500. Nothing. Nothing. You're gonna pay 1,000 to live in the worst areas there are. Minimum of 1,000. And then you're gonna spend 200 on electric, and um, then you got water and sewage, and you ain't living nowhere around here. And I mean in the worst violent, crime-ridden, breaking in your house, breaking in your car, shootings. You ain't living nowhere for under 1,500 around here. And then everything at the stores is ridiculously priced, and it's gotten bad. You can't afford to buy food around here. You had a 78 Chevy pickup with a 350, 4-bolt main. Yeah, I had a couple of 350s, but I don't know. I mean, bolt. Well, I don't know what 4-bolt main means. You did 120 in second gear? Wow, that's unheard of. Really? 1,500, you can live good? Yeah, years ago, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, I was talking to somebody from Florida, and we were going to go down there for some brick and block work, but they were actually paying less than we were making here. And we were making $25 an hour here. In Florida, it was only paying $10 an hour, which was $15 less an hour. I was like, nah, I can't go there and work. But then we had a bunch of people move down here from Ohio when a bunch of factories in Ohio went down and the towns fell apart. And so we had a bunch of people come here from Ohio, and they were underbidding the jobs, construction jobs. And man, that was making me mad. They were underbidding them, and then so the price, it just kept going down. Like we were getting $1.50 a block at the time, and they came down and they're bidding 75 cents a block, half of what we were getting. And then so the pay just started dropping and dropping. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah, well, it wasn't Mexicans that did it here. It was Ohio Indian, Ohio Indians, or however you will pronounce it. Oh, I can't be mad at anybody for wanting to work, but you know, don't be driving the price down to nothing. But see, around here, they base the cost of living on what the military makes. Now, I can tell you one of the apartment complexes that I used to live in when I worked at the bar, I was friends with the manager. And so she told me, yeah, we're getting ready to jack the rent up. And they jacked it up over $310 a month. So, like, when your lease was out, they were like, oh, we're going to put in new Ferber carpet and stainless steel appliances, and the rent's going to go from $750 to $1060 a month. And they just put in new appliances and new carpet, which wasn't Ferber, but I didn't even like Ferber anyway because it was hard. Um, they just did new floors and everything in my apartment the year before. And I was like, so you're going to put in new appliances and new Ferber carpet and want me to pay $310 more a month. So $4,000 a year, well, close to it. So you want me to buy these appliances and this carpet that you're putting in a place that I rent? Nah. So they went down to 23% occupancy. 23%. Nobody stayed. And the people that lived above me, this elderly couple, they had lived there 21 years. They didn't ever plan on moving. He was so mad. He's like, no, we didn't plan on moving. He's like, it's not even the fact that I can afford it. He's like, it's the principle. I say, yeah, for real. I couldn't afford it when they jumped it like that. But I was still a single mom, paying for a teenager. And that girl could eat. Good gracious, my daughter. Skinny as I don't know what, but she had an appetite like 10 grown men. Wow. Anyway, so what she told me was they, everything around here, since this is all military, I wish I could prove it, and let the military know that this is what they're doing. They're jacking the prices. They're doing a lot better than we are. They got free medical and housing allowance and yeah. Oh yeah, I see it's buffering bad now, in and out, because it's showing like that on my phone too. The Wi-Fi connection's not as powerful. friend. Alright. Any new earthquakes? Oh yeah, we had a few in the United States. Looks like California. Just one little one on the new fault line. 2.6 in Mammoth Lakes, Cali. Still no severe weather. Let's see if any of this spiked up. Actually, this might not even get a reading either. The satellite satellites are having issues. That red is not good for us. Oh, they've changed that one, huh? Is it still buffering? Yeah. Oh, now it's back. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Yep. Nope. It rebooted the room. Darn it. And then when it does that, people don't know you're back because it's not like it. Oh, okay. You can hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why it was doing all that. I guess it's just bad Wi-Fi. I really need to get me a Wi-Fi booster. Especially where I'm going to be at when I move from here. I mean, they're supposed to be working on the internet there, but I don't know. I don't know. So what were we talking about before all that buffering started? Oh, how I don't know if you heard me or not, how they raised the prices around here, not just the rent and houses and stuff, but everything around here, the car lots, the stores, everything raises their prices based on military's pay. And if they know the military is getting ready to get a pay raise, they jack the prices ahead of time. Which means they can never get ahead. Like they can't look forward to, oh, we're going to get a pay raise, so we'll be able to pay off this bill or something, because they're going to jack the prices up. They keep the cost of living here based on what the military makes. Oh, thank you. That's very nice to know, Rule. Because friends are few and far between. And they're definitely something to cherish. I don't know. I still think there's a lot of good people in the world. I know there's a lot of evilness too, but I guess I look for the good in people. Or sometimes I'm too optimistic. I've always been accused of that. Making excuses for people and justifying what they do, why they do it. But I don't know. It's getting rough out there. I know that. And man, there's so many. I pay attention to how many parents are injuring their children and stuff like that only because of what Scripture says about it. And, so I read those, and it is, I mean, good gracious. That's off the charts, too. I mean, you got people in there, you got 99-year-old grandmothers killing their 60-some-year-old sons, and it's just, people, people you wouldn't expect to do stuff like that, doing it. You have a mobile home also? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna need to get an RV or a what do you call those, travel trailers or whatever. Oh, trailer parks around here, you're not gonna find rent for under 700 a month, and that doesn't include anything. You still gotta pay your water, your electric, your sewage. Yeah. And most of them don't have any amenities at all. And matter of fact, the one in Chesapeake was so bad that the streets tore up your car because of the potholes. All the neighbors had trash everywhere. Their trailers were rusting and falling apart. And I mean, it was just horrible. And they called themselves a gated community. I cracked up at that. I'm like, this is so not a gated community, and it's, neighbors that have 20 years, 30 years of trash in their yard, and they wanted 700 a month for the lot, not for the trailer. Now you still got to put your own trailer there. 700 for the lot, a tiny lot, so tiny. You're so close to your neighbors, your neighbor's trailer, that you could hear them walking in their trailer. You could literally hear them walking in their trailer, and they want $700 a month lot rent, which didn't include anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it included trash pickup. But most people didn't put their trash out. They just left it in their yards piling up. So, you spend 20, 30, $40,000 on a trailer, and then you're paying 700 a month lot rent, and then your electric. So it's costing you $1,300, $1,400 a month just for your trailer to sit on that lot. I hate to think what people's trailer payments were for the trailer itself, and then the lot. You're spending $2,000 a month to live on. I mean, you could reach through your windows and touch your neighbors in trashy neighborhood with potholes. Your next door neighbor just bought a new house and wants to sell his double wide. Yeah, double wides are nice. Any space is nice. The more space you got, the more luxurious it feels. I couldn't put anything like that where I'll be at. It has to be an RV or a travel trailer. Yeah, but that lot rent around here for a double wide somewhere, that'd run you about $1,100 a month on lot rent. alone. And then them things cost you what, 8 to 10,000? It would cost you 8 to 10,000 to move it, or maybe more than that, moving it that far. But around here, if you want to move something 20 miles, it costs you like $6,000 to move your trailer. Oh, I would own the land with what? What am I gonna buy it with? I'm just making enough to buy food right now, literally, and pay my cell phone and my insurance on a car I can't drive, and it's $11 a month Skype bill. Yeah, everyone around here owns guns too, but it ain't safe. Your word is good. Yeah. Now, how would I just own the land? Land ain't free. They locked them up. Oh, they're getting out now. Well, they lock them up here, and as soon as they lock them up, somebody else takes over their route. We got so many gangs here, you know, the Bloods, the Crips, New Jersey skinheads in Virginia Beach, the MS-13. There's a spinoff on the MS-13, another gang, I forgot their name. There's another spinoff of the Bloods, I forgot their name. Um, but yeah, as soon as they lock someone up, someone else is already taking over their thing. Crime here is really bad. Virginia Beach won't announce it to the world. They try to keep it on the down low, but certain areas are worse than others, of course. But yeah, it's why would people of a certain race be scared to come there? Uh, well, I don't have a racist bone in my body. No. I kind of like multicultural areas. canoe, come ashore. That's actually a good idea. Uh, I felt like a refugee all my life. Not having those family ties growing up. Yeah, my eyes, I actually have hazel eyes. They change colors. Most of the time they're blue. Sometimes they're a lighter blue. Sometimes they're gray. When they're gray, people, one of my fiancés used to tell me, I'm going to stay away from you. I'm like, why? He's like, because your eyes are gray today. Anytime your eyes are gray, you're angry. I was like, oh, I never knew that. But yeah, they go from green to gray to different shades of blue. Not really. People of all nationalities have blue eyes, green eyes, gray eyes, golden color eyes. But 80% of the world has brown eyes. I could get some brown contacts. Oh, I can't wear them. My eyes are I cannot stand contacts. I tried them once, and and you know what's funny? I spent money on them, right? And of course I had it back then. But I was like, I'm gonna try me some colors, you know. So I got some colors. I didn't even like them. I like my own eye color better. And then they would look different because my eyes would change colors. So then the color of the lens I put in looked different, and I didn't like them. And it just, oh, they're so irritating. I can't stand to have anything in my eye. I don't know. I think they can. Because it's not what the parents have, it's the genes that they're carrying. Um, oh yeah, they probably can, you know. It's whatever dominant or recessive genes they're carrying in their body. um, our biological father had some beautiful, beautiful eyes, and our biological mom had brown eyes, and most of our family has dark brown hair and dark brown eyes. There's only a couple of us that came out different. We all have that RHO negative blood. Yeah, I can tell. Does your wife flirt too? You're B plus. Yeah, they call our blood the alien blood. You know, then there's some people that claim it's from the Nephilim bloodline, and then there's others that claim it's the Holy Grail bloodline. No, she loves you more than anything. Well, don't you love her more than anything? Okay. A long story. Hmm. Alright, I won't try to read nothing into that. Alright, let me check the scanner. Well, so,
just call in Wicklow Place. If tag Whiskey November Hotel 3745, just come back to a silver Lexus.
uh-oh. Somebody's got illegal tags on the car. I don't know if it's stolen.
51, pop over, take it up. 10-4, 525, retain tag.
So, Grant County, India right now has Operation is called Stop Them All. Is underway in Jonesboro, headed by Officer Michael Thomason.
2253.
Whatever that means, Operation Stop Them All. Maybe that's like a road check for DUIs, or that's what it sounds like. Have you ever heard them saying, I love you, but I'm not? Yeah, I've heard the saying.
Dispatch 424 Road. So we're 296 calling in. They want you to get back in touch with them. 263. 26 Charles traffic. 26 Charles. South Plaza, Marina Lake, North Carolina, Hotel Charles Lima, 1213.
Warren Township.
264.
2-vehicle crash, injuries reported, but unsure of the extent.
65 Hotel Bravo Charlie on a black pickup.
There was
2234.
a car that ran into the back of a semi at 90 miles per hour. That was in Elko County, Nevada. 90 miles per hour. I saw one time my stepdaughter had leukemia, and I was taking her to Portsmouth Naval for her chemotherapy. And on the way there, a car ran. Wait a minute, let me cut this down. A car ran into the back of a semi, and the whole roof was gone. It decapitated the people in the car, and that was rough to see that. Oh, that's how you felt for the last 40 years? Wow. I don't think I could stay in a relationship for that long if I wasn't in love with the person. But when I'm in love, and I'm committed. I'm a loyal person anyway. Why I stay at a job, that I stayed at a job for 22 years. That there was a lot of things I wasn't happy about, but I stayed. I stayed with Sprint as my carrier for 21 years, so they really messed up. And I told them, I'm a loyal person, and You really messed up. You're losing a 21-year customer. And I won't be back. It wouldn't matter what they offered at that point. Because when I'm done, I'm done. I give people a lot of chances. But when I'm done, I'm done. I usually give them warning, you know. Like one time I had a boyfriend, and I had stopped in Burger King. And I'm standing there in line. And I was looking at the man in front of me, and I was like, wow, right? And I got home and I told my boyfriend about it. I'm like, our relationship's in trouble. He said, why? And I said, well, because I, I looked at another man and thought he looked good, you know. And when I'm in love, nobody looks good but the person I love. And I don't know how to explain it, but they don't. And so I said, that means our relationship's in trouble. I'm not getting what I need out of this relationship. And whatever, he ignored it. Oh, I was done. You had semi pull out in front of you. You were running 120. Whoa. So you tried to go around him. He was making a U-turn. Wow, in front of a gas station. Wow. Well, thank God that didn't end in an explosion. Well, I guess it was better you hit a dirt bank than hitting that semi or those pumps. That would have been horrible. Um, the Lord worked that out for you. You had a 74 Vega that would run 140. Wow. A Vega, really? Man, do you remember? Oh man, the stream is acting up again. Wow. You remember the Pacer and the Gremlin and what was that other ugly car? The Pinto, where the gas tanks would catch on fire in the least little accident. Oh, and the El Camino. That was so ugly. And you know, the one car that everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people liked that I just couldn't see it was the Bug, the Volkswagen Bug. Now, Volkswagen's got some better looking cars now, but that Bug was just, I don't care what kind of paint job you put on that, I did not like it. You've had at least 50 cars. I haven't even had close to that. I can count mine. Let's see, my first car was Mustang. Um, my next car was a Firebird. My next car after the Firebird was the Camaro. And then I had a Lincoln Continental. And then I had the brand new truck. And then I had the 65 F100. And then I had a Mercury Cougar. And then I had the Rodeo. And while I had the Rodeo, I bought the Chrysler 300 so I could make trips to Georgia because I didn't think my Rodeo would make it. Plus, it wouldn't have been a comfortable ride for my granddaughter coming all the way from Georgia to here and back. So I bought the Chrysler. Okay. The back seats are so comfortable. There's so much room in the back seat. So I've only had 10 vehicles my whole life. I think I might miss. There might have been another one in there somewhere that I didn't think about. I think I've only had 10. I think. You had an '86 Lincoln, '69 Cougar. My Cougar was wow. I remember um it was my Cougar. 91. I think 91 or 92. I've only had 3 new vehicles, and that was when I bought the what was it, 4? A Camaro, the F-150, the Cougar, and my Chrysler. The only vehicles that I bought new. And my Chrysler, I've had, the longest. That's a shame though. The engine's gone. It's only 126,000 miles on the car. The '69 was bad news. Yeah. Yeah, it's a 2.7. I know they got the internal water pump that lets the sludge into the oil, or leaks into the oil and causes sludge build up, and then you get all the carbon deposits or whatever else from it. Yeah, I wish I could put an engine in it. Buying Yeah, I know, but I figure the ones they make now, they figured out that the water pump was an issue. And I figure they probably changed it out by now, because I think they started doing that in 2005, or they might have been doing it even before they came out with the 300. But at some point they figured it out. But nobody warned me for years. I just warned a man last week. He had a newer Chrysler, and I told him about the water pumps in those 2.7. And it can mess up your time and change sensor and everything. I had to change the computer. Also, would have to change the motor mounts, which wouldn't, one of the motor mounts broke anyway when we raised it up with we jacked up the engine to drop the oil pan and change the, wow, I can't even remember what it was now. Um, there's, it's not a filter, what's the name of it? It's the uptake thing inside the oil pan. So we dropped the oil pan out to clean that thing out and all that. But so one of the motor mounts broke. It was rusted. It rusted completely off. Yeah, well, how much would that cost me to go to a 3.5 and then change the computer and the motor mounts and all that? How many thousands of dollars would that be? What is a neon? Well, I haven't even been earning $600 a month here lately, so there ain't no $2,500 saved up nowhere. It's a Dodge 4-cylinder, 5-speed. It's 30 miles to a gallon. 2005 neon. I did not say Bob Neon. This phone does not work with a darn. Try that again. 2005 neon. 36 highway, 4-cylinder, 2.4, 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual. New clutch kit, new motor, transmission, new bushings. Hi, dear to question. I'm sorry. How are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been? I'm looking up the blue book. What the blue book is on that. Is it a SE? Is it a special edition or is it? Is it buffering again? They get a good rating. There's one. It's 2003. Oh, but it's a SXT. That's different. Not great in snow. The one complaint the guy says is not great in snow. Most little cars aren't great in snow anyway. Doing good, staying busy, studying and researching. What are you studying and researching? Interiors like new. Oh yeah. It's the SE. Special edition. Oh, this one says I've driven the car everywhere. up steep mountains a few times, many road trips. Safety rated, it got, let's say 4 and 3 stars. They got driver's side and passenger side, rear side, front side airbags. They got driver door airbags and those things. I didn't even know they had those in 2005. $205 horsepower. That's a Bonneville. Everything, learning some Aramaic language, biblical research, CERN photography, photographing. Oh, cool. I haven't had time to research much of anything lately. I mean, I just, paying attention to the earthquakes and the solar storms and uh, severe weather and the way people and animals and the earth and the plants and everything are responding to the changes that the earth is going through and how that relates to scripture. About, and I don't get much time to do that. I try to, when I get home, I try to sum it up, and I'd like to learn some Aramaic. I haven't even had time to go into the uh, Hebrew like I've been wanting to. Oh, wow. Okay, so they just had a 5.2 in the Fiji Islands, and then a 4.6. Oh, sorry. That's the latest. At least there's no tsunami warnings with that. It's been 19 months. You had open heart surgery right after you painted it? Really? Wow. That's a serious surgery to have. Considering doing a live show like this, yeah, quakes, solar storms, animal, yes, seem different. Yeah, they're not afraid. Oh my gosh, I've been saying that for the last couple of years. Yeah, animals come up to you like, it's almost like they know. Because it used to be years ago, you had to be scared if an animal came up to you because then, they would tell you on the news that if an animal approaches you that doesn't normally approach humans, like raccoons and stuff, they're like, be wary because they probably have rabies. But now, and there are a lot of animals that get rabies around here every summer, but um, now any kind of animal will come up to you and like have a conversation with you, you know, in their own language. But yeah, matter of fact, Daughter of the Most High um, put a message on one of the shows that I did the other night, because she didn't catch me, that she had an experience with, was it an elk or a moose? I have to go back and read it again. And she was like, this thing was not scared of me, and I wasn't scared of it, and it was just so weird, but she wanted to talk about it. I don't know if she had planned on calling in or what. Yes, yes. Well, I know that one warned me when my phone was catching on fire in my pocket last year, and I didn't know it. And this bird was just sitting up there by himself, and he was going so crazy. I mean, he wouldn't stop hollering at me. And I'm like, I wonder what in the world is wrong with him. So I went, to pull my phone out of my pocket so I could videotape it and share it with y'all. And when I stuck my hand in my pocket, man, I burnt my hand. My phone was on fire. It was already burning my pocket, and I didn't even know it. And it was cold out. But anyway, as soon as I grabbed the phone out of my pocket and threw it on the ground, the bird stopped making all that crazy noise. And he wasn't talking to no other birds. There was no other birds around. It was just me and him. I think, I think that for those of us in touch with God and the times that we're in, I think the animals know it, and they know that we love God and they love God. And I think there's a peace and um, a camaraderie that happens with them and us now. Because, I always talk to them about God. I'm like, Jesus is coming back. Oh, yeah, I'll start doing that. And they just start dancing, and it's crazy. I almost finished. Oh, we don't do brainwashing here. We only want brains that can't be washed. We want people to be blessed and led by the Holy Spirit for discernment. Did you see the story where a girl totaled her car and killed her because she couldn't get her phone out of her back pocket because of the seat belt? No, that's sad. You want to test my false reality? Did she have one of those S7s? I had one of those Samsungs that burn up. Good evening, you're live on the air.
What kind of false knowledge are you spreading?
What kind of false knowledge am I spreading? I'm not spreading any false knowledge.
What kind of true knowledge are you spreading?
We're just chatting about things going on in the world.
Are you telling them that Jesus is going to kill us all?
No, because Jesus isn't going to kill us all.
No survivors.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's not what Jesus is going to do. If you walk with Jesus, you survive for eternity.
That's the false Jesus you have created.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can call it what you want, and I'm going to pray that the Holy Father allows the Holy Spirit to touch you so that you may know the truth.
Are you talking about Yahoo?
Yahoo?
Yeah, you talking about that who? Yahoo?
I don't know who Yahoo is.
Jehovah? Is that who you talking about?
I'm talking about Yah. I'm talking about the Holy Father,
The
Yeshua,
babysitter, right?
his son. No, he's not a baby killer. Satan's a baby killer. Man's a baby killer.
The pregnant woman killer?
He's not a pregnant woman killer either. Yeah, I'm gonna pray for
You
your
sure
soul,
about
and
that?
I'm gonna end this now because
Why you running?
I'm
Why
not
you
gonna
fleeing? I
entertain
thought I was
Satan.
supposed to flee. I thought I was supposed to flee.
Not gonna entertain Satan, baby. Sound is doubled. Oh, let me check my speaker. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, huh. Anyway, that young man. Oh, now it's buffering again. That young man had a different opinion of the world and of the Holy Creator, and he seems to think that the stuff that Satan is doing is he wants to give that blame to Jesus and the Holy Father when we were warned that there was a spiritual battle going on, and we were given free will to make our choices. So I pray that God touches him and opens his eyes to what's really going on, because it's getting ready to get real for everyone. So do I know in Aramaic that Yahweh is pronounced Yahweh? Yahweh? No, I didn't know that there. Yeah, I don't, I call on the Holy Father and the Holy Spirit in Jesus' name, Yeshua's name, and I'll go with Yeshua uh, for the Hebrew, because Jesus didn't just speak in Aramaic. As a matter of fact, he only spoke to certain people in Aramaic, and he spoke to others in Hebrew, and some people didn't even know it was him until he spoke in their in Aramaic. But um, I guarantee you, remember when the Holy Spirit first descended and he changed the tongues. He changed. Everyone was talking in their own language. The disciples. So I'm sure he doesn't care what language we speak it in. So it doesn't really matter. if which name is used. I think he knows our heart. In the last 2 years, you've had rods put in your back. Wow, spinal fusion from L2 to L4, and 2 open heart surgeries, 5 stents. Wow. And also the Messiah's birth name. You don't bother the man, he's busy. Well, it was just like, oh yeah, he's there. Definitely. Like Yah and Yeshua, well, uh, Hebrew language didn't have vowels, so we know that it wasn't spelled Yeshua. But that little thing that they used to represent, the vowels were implied, but they didn't have vowels in their alphabet. The sound was implied. I forgot. Chuck Missler did a sermon on it, on the languages and the pronunciations and the. I think that's cool that you're learning it, the Aramaic. If I had time, I would, because I definitely like going back to. I like to take the scriptures and then compare it to the Hebrew language. Like the word wormwood. Most of our Bibles translate it to meaning bitter, but wormwood also means poisoned in Hebrew. Just like the English language, they have more than one meaning for some words. So that's where it got lost in when it was translated to English. Because English is a English is Latin, Spanish, French, German, Russian. English is mixed. Our language comes from everywhere. So anyway, they the Hebrew language would have 2 or 3 meanings to a word, and then when the people were translating it to English, it was up to whoever the translators were to determine what they thought the word meant. So, like the word wormwood, when it says the great star will fall wormwood, and it made the waters wormwood, and then it killed man that drank the waters. Well, they always turn that word into bitter, but the word also means poisoned, which makes more sense to me that it poisoned the waters and not just made them bitter. Am I buffering? I'd be interested to know what wormwood is in Aramaic. Do you know what wormwood is in Aramaic? Or not? I'd be interested what that scripture actually reads in Aramaic and then translate it, knowing what their words meant and if they had more than one meaning. They say very few people spoke Aramaic, and that was the purpose of changing it to Hebrew. And then, because initially the only people that could read it were a select few that could read. They only had a few of the books anyway, and then they were all in Aramaic, and so you had to go have these people read it for you, and so they didn't like that, so they had it um, translated to Hebrew because it was a language that Rome used, so that's what most Jewish people spoke too. You seen a planet beside the sun? Now, 2013, 2 days after Thanksgiving, 8 a.m. Central Time, up in Tennessee. No one believes you. Oh, I believe you. I've seen some. Look, I have seen some things in the sky that I find hard to believe, but I know I've seen them. And then even the if you want to talk about the odd spaceships or aircrafts that defy logic and the science and the math and everything else that we know, well, I started talking about it, which I wasn't comfortable doing. And then my daughter thought I was losing my mind. And then finally, the Navy here, right next to my job where the jet base was, finally came out and said, yeah, we've been seeing things. My boss came on here one night and shared with the room that we were seeing crazy things at work. And then uh, a few months ago, the Navy, the Oceana Jet Base, actually announced that they've been seeing things that they can't explain for the last 5 years. And then, of course, the um, the battle groups that were out at sea, now they've come forward, and so they've been seeing things for 13 years now or something. You no longer really study the English Bibles. Well, the good thing about studying the English Bibles and then studying the Hebrew and the Aramaic is to see that not much has been lost. And just like when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, because there's people that try to say, well, the Bible was rewritten manipulated by man, written by man, blah, blah, blah. And that's true. It was written by man. But the inspired word of God, if God told somebody to write it, God wanted it written. That part's not going to be changed. Whatever messages we were supposed to get, that's not going to change. God ain't going to let that happen. And anyway, so when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything else, they found that the New Testament was on point with our holy Bible, like the King James version. And I don't know, you can, if you pray for the Holy Spirit to give you discernment and you're really seeking the truth, not you, but people, then I think then that when they read it, they'll get the message that they're supposed to get from it. Even if some evil person tried to change things, I think you're still going to get the message you're supposed to get. But I like proving that the Holy Bible is accurate. So I like going back into the Hebrew and seeing what the words meant. Like I said, I think they messed up on wormwood because I don't agree with the translation of it meaning bitter. I think they should have translated it to poison, which was their other option. But that doesn't mean they did it, for some evil reason to deceive people. It could just be that's what they thought it meant at the time. This, you got to remember, that was a long time ago before we were seeing all these things in the sky and understanding some of the science we understand now. Well, God didn't inspire anyone to write about Jesus and tell him to create a name that will wipe his memory, wipe his name and memory out. Did they have vowels in the Aramaic language? The old Aramaic language? 'Let's see. In Aramaic writing, Wa and Yad serve a double function. Originally, they represented only the consonants W and Y, but they were later adapted to indicate the long vowels U and I, respectively, as well. Often also O and E, respectively. In the latter role, they are known as matries, lectionists, or mothers of reading. "22 letters, all indicating consonants, though some can also represent vowels, and it is written from left to or right to left." Right, well, everything. And 67, come up the road flying. Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that before, Rule. Like 8, 9 months ago. I remember you talking about that. Hmm. It sounded like a car, headlights and all, but it covered a mile. Wow. Well, oh Lord, hold on. Yeah, I just gotta take some asthma medicine. Well, God bless you, Dare, and thank you for stopping in. And good luck at your doctor's appointment tomorrow. And I was trying to look up the the Aramaic for Jesus because I came up with two different ones. Cause they had old Aramaic and then the new Aramaic. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. Let me. Oh, doesn't look like that's helping. Oh, new earthquake just popped up. Two of them. This one's in East Timor. Timor. I never heard of that. It's a brand new location I never heard of before. 170 kilometers deep. So 4.4. And then there's one over here. It just popped up. 4.8 in Peru. Let's see if there's any. Still no severe weather. That is strange. None at all. I mean, usually like real late there isn't any, but there wasn't any earlier either. And this going in the red is where our trouble is. That's the earth right there. The green's not good either. That's pretty strong. The yellow's stronger, and the red is, I mean, they have some stronger than that. But anyway, that's not good for us, for the earth. But let's see if they change the G1 and G2 forecast yet. I know this satellite's having issues. So something's affecting it. Anyway, oops. Oh, still forecasting a G2 for the 27th, and then a G1 on the 28th. So let's see if I'm still buffering. Yep. Oh. I don't know. I need a Wi-Fi booster, apparently. I don't know, Rule. It's so far away from my daughter and grandkids. I mean, they're 3.5 hours away right now, and I don't know where her husband will be stationed at next. I mean, I'd love to live in Florida. I like warm weather year round. I do not like winter at all. I would just have to be uh, sure of a job and then illegal. I don't know. There's a lot of people who came to this country as illegals, and they're actually good American citizens now. And Scripture tells us that to treat aliens as our brothers. And when they said alien, it meant, from other nations, not the aliens from other planets, but we're supposed to treat everybody as brother and sister. So, oh, that's very sweet of you, Rule. Maybe I'll see when she, I'd like to think if I moved somewhere far away from her that I had a job that paid enough to where I could either take trips to her or I could pay for her to take trips to me. Cause I don't want to miss out on my grandchildren growing up and my daughter, you know. I got to see them for a day, what, a little over a month ago, I guess. It was so awesome. And hopefully when I move, they'll be able to, I'll be able to see them a little more when they come in town. That's very kind of you, but I definitely would have to have a car before I move to a strange town. I mean, I'm having enough trouble getting around here. Look at the ads on Craigslist for Orlando. Uh, I'm I'm weary of Craigslist. Um, I used it a couple of years ago, actually last year, looking for a place to live, a room for rent, and for a couple of things, and every single one was a scam. And then my son-in-law, because they were moving, he was getting stationed in Maryland, so he had to go up there first before they sold their house down here. Well, he was on Craigslist up there in Maryland looking for a place, and he ran into nothing but scams, complete scams. That, the pictures that they had of places wasn't even in the same state. They were using pictures from wherever they steal the pictures from off the internet somewhere, and then they post them on Craigslist, saying this is the house they got for rent, or this is the room they got for rent, or this is the job they have, or this is so many scams. But it was ridiculous. And it ain't even about that murderer from Craigslist from years ago. Remember that guy? But I mean, now we got Uber drivers that are killing people, kidnapping people, and um, one lady took a ride from a Lyft driver, Lyft driver, and he had those doors that lock, those child safety locks. He locked her in the back seat, and then um, he didn't take her where she was supposed to be going. He took her, I don't know, across state lines or something. Took her way far away, and was trafficked her that night. And then we had that Uber driver that was killing people. I don't remember if that was not Tennessee, I mean Texas, or somewhere out west, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, I forgot. But you remember him? He was killing the people. And I mean, there is so many scams out there, and so much evilness when you make yourself vulnerable. So I've always been independent since I was 12 years old, and this vulnerability that I have right now, being carless, is not a comfortable feeling at all. It almost makes you feel like a child, and people have control over you because, you know, they know the area you live in isn't safe, and then they know you're dependent on them for a ride, or, you can't afford to go to work paying $36 a day to get there, or you're not going to walk in a shoot 'em up neighborhood in the dark after you take 5.5 hours of buses to get to a job. It's 10 is getting overrun by Mizzies. What's Mizzies? um, yeah, how about, can we talk tomorrow though? Cause, oh wow. Yeah, it's almost midnight, and I have to get up really early. And then Saturday, I'm gonna be parking cars at the zoo, and then maybe working the ODU game after that. I was supposed to be moving Sunday. Oh, I left them. I mean, if you want to call right quick after I end the show, that's fine. But I'm just saying I gotta get to bed here in a few because I have to get up really early, and I have to be. My brain has to be on point all day because we be doing some dangerous stuff out there, and I don't want to slip and hurt myself or anyone else. And we're gonna be in a G2 store. That makes it harder. Ah, gracious. But yeah, I'm gonna shut it down in a minute. If you want to call Mike's channel, which Mike? I haven't been watching anybody's here lately. I listen to my preachers when I go to sleep, like Chuck Missler and a few others. I'll play that and go to sleep by it, but I haven't really had time. I haven't even looked at Mr. B's stuff this week. Twisted Truth, I thought he didn't have a channel anymore. Oh, I mean, he's still got a channel, but he doesn't do shows anymore. You mean Nibiru News? No, he hasn't had a whatchamacallit in a while. What, he still has a show? He has a live show? Huh. Oh. Oh, you mean videos? Mm. I haven't gotten any notices, but my phone's been acting stupid. And half the time I'm in spots that don't receive any data throughout the day, so. No, is he doing okay? Uh, yeah, I liked his live shows. I wish he hadn't stopped them. Um, I used to have a P.O. box. It was a pain in the butt going there, though. I guess because of their hours. I didn't like having to go there, take off of work to go to the P.O. box so I could get my mail before the post office locked the doors. But then they started having one where you had 24-hour access. But, you couldn't get any packages in it. It had to be really small. But I guess they're better nowadays. Well, he's probably happy with his with the things that he's doing in his life now. He's probably got more time to do other things, and he's supposed to be writing his books and whatnot. Sometimes people up here can be so negative, it just, drains you. Um, so I get that, I guess. Well, I don't think he intended to hurt anyone. He had to move on with whatever's going on in his life. I guess. I mean, I don't really know why he stopped doing the shows, except that he said it was just becoming a platform for people to advertise other channels and something about, what else did he say? A couple months ago, he did a video, and at the end of the video, he mentioned why he wasn't going to bring back the live shows. It was something about it had gotten to, I guess the same people always calling in, saying the same thing, or then people trying to sabotage it, calling in, saying things that I don't remember. He might have been hurting more than the people, the friends that he hurt. Obviously it was getting to him. He had to. I don't know. I mean, it can be time consuming, and uh, and I guess if he wasn't enjoying it anymore and didn't enjoy the conversations and then you know he might start back sometime in the future. But I'm still talking and I need to get some sleep. So I think I'm gonna close the show, and if you want to call right quick, I'll leave the phone open for a minute. Yeah, true money can't buy you love, but it can pay your rent and put you in a car that works and buy food and electricity. Money don't buy you love, but it can buy you necessities to keep your butt alive. Alright, I'm gonna close the show out. So I pray that the Holy Spirit touches everyone and they know the saving grace of the Messiah that we were blessed with, and that the Holy Spirit gives everyone discerning abilities, because there's so much great deception in the world, and the atmosphere and the earth and everything is showing the scripture is accurate. Therefore, if scripture is accurate thus far, then we know the rest of it is coming as it's written. If I change my mind, well, like I said, I'd have to have a job and a car before. I'd have to be guaranteed a job in Florida and a car. And, blah, blah, blah. I would never just up and move anywhere without being sure I was going to be able to take care of myself. Well, I appreciate that, brother. So I'd like to remind everyone that God loves you, and so do I. And we'll take a quick, oh, wow, I can't even talk. Quick peek at this. Oh, new one right there. 4.6 in Japan. Oh, well, we've seen that one in Timor, never heard of. 4.8 in Peru, and a 4.8 in Puerto Rico. Wow, Puerto Rico really can't stand anymore damage. They haven't recovered from that hurricane from last year. That one in Canada is concerning, though. They had one a couple of weeks ago, too. That one in Spain. Anyway, that's the last look at that for tonight. Still no severe weather. That's good. Well, I would have to look at how much it would actually cost me to live wherever I'd be living at there, how much the move would cost, how much I'd actually be making, and a lot of things. And how much it would cost for visits to see my children, my grandchildren, if all that would actually work out better than the struggling I'm doing here. Yeah, I know. I've met probably 180,000 people at least personally met in my lifetime. Probably more than that if I actually added them up. But I've worked at some big venues where I got to meet a lot of people. And yeah, there's only so many that are trustworthy, and only so many that are really friends. They are few and far between. Anyway, I'm still talking, so I need to stop. Rent a can. What is a can? I don't know what a can is. Oh, a car. Well, I'll let you know when I have a weekend off, because weekends will be and have been the main, uh, the busiest part of the job that I had and the job that I'm getting ready to start and the other job that I try to work. Yeah, it would have to be weekdays. But I don't know when that will be yet, because I don't even know what my schedule's going to be at this new job. And then when I'm off from there, I'm going to be trying to work the other job. The bad thing is that these three jobs, besides the little stuff I've been doing during the day now because I don't have transportation, these other three jobs all basically have the same busy schedules. You know, they're busy on the weekends, they're busy on holidays, and they're busy in the summer. You know, and that would be needed at each one, which is impossible to be at three places at the same time. Oh, there's a balancing act it's going to be, but you know, I had to make this other move because without a car, I'm having trouble getting to any of them. But in this location I'm at is, so we'll see what happens. Well, I appreciate that, and I know Orlando is supposed to be a fun place, and I know the water there is beautiful. I wish somebody would give me a job in St. Thomas. I would love to live in St. Thomas. Probably some other islands too, but I've been to St. Thomas. The people aren't, some of the people are friendly, but like the people in the service, like at restaurants and the airport, they weren't friendly at all. But the water was just so amazing. That aqua blue water was just so gorgeous. When you see stuff like that, you know there's a God. Alright, see, I'm still running my mouth. Let me stop. I gotta get some sleep. We'll talk about that. What, St. Thomas? The Virgin Islands? The American Virgin Islands? The U.S. Virgin Islands? Which coast in Florida? I don't know, the East Coast. I don't know about the Gulf Coast. That's all I saw was Pensacola when I was there. And it was kind of chilly. It was in March. Um, I mean, I had on shorts and sandals, but I had to put a sweater on because it was chilly. And the water there wasn't that pretty. But, I mean, then the sand was whiter than what we had here, but the water just, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting to see light blue, pretty water. But that's not what I saw when I went to Pensacola. Well, like I said, I was only there for a day, so it's not like I got to do a whole lot of sightseeing. We just went through there to check on some things because we were down that way in Anniston, Mississippi. And I'm still talking. Let me stop. Oh, may God bless everyone. Uh, uh, I will bid farewell. It has been a pleasure spending the evening with you.